Why, hello there. It's your probably not so favorite person or favorite person, it doesn't matter. Welcome to my small little channel here on the interwebs. That's right. And I'm going to be scathing the Democratic Party. That's right. I'm scathing them. I will never forget hashtag Biden lied, people died. But before we do that, I want to let everyone know the progress on my recent poll. I've so far got a little over 1,200 people voting, and the poll is: should President Biden be impeached or get 25th Amendment with the goal of being removed, even if that means the current VP takes over? About 84.7% of people that have voted said yes. Now, of course, there are some people that have added their remarks, add a little bit more to it, and I'll probably read those either Thursday or Friday, depending on if I decide to go camping or not. But yeah, mental health is definitely good. Definitely get out the property, relax, do the American thing, and shoot some guns. But before I do that, now I saw this trending on Twitter. The Floridian, I don't know how reliable they are, so I'm just going to take it with a grain of salt. There's been some members of the House that have said this actually happened, but Pelosi blocks the name of 13 service members killed from being read. A day after the official pullout of Afghanistan, less than a week after a suicide bomber killed 13 U.S. service members, Rep. Carlos Gimenez, hopefully I said that right, has just tweeted that the Speaker of the House Democrat has blocked the names of those dead servicemen and women from being read on the floor of the House of Representatives. The story is developing. Update: Representative Brian Mast, a Republican, a wounded combat veteran from Afghanistan, tells the Floridian that during a Republican only moment of silence, the Speaker Pelosi refused to recognize them, to read the names, or bring up any bills or anything. We gavalized in, we had a prayer, said the Pledge of Allegiance, and took a moment of silence with pretty much all Republican veterans, then asked to be recognized to read the names to bring up the Afghan legislation. They did not acknowledge us and just closed the House down. Another combat veteran, Rep. Greg Stubb, hope I'm saying that right, the name right, also expressed his disgust for Pelosi refusing to let him and his Republican colleagues read the names. The House Democrats refused to recognize Republican veterans on the House floor to read the names of our fallen service members in Afghanistan. That's how far our nation has fallen, tweeted Rep. Steve. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry. It's not a common name for me. How badly do Nancy Pelosi and the House Democrats want to cover up the Afghanistan debacle? They just blocked members of Congress from reading the names of the service members who sacrificed their lives in Afghanistan last week. Don't you think our military deserves better? Absolutely. And if this is true, how disgusting of Nancy Pelosi. Now, I'm leaning towards this probably is true. Can we expect anything better from our Democrats counterparts? Now I know there's a lot of things that Republicans do that are equally as wrong, but not at this level. At least they have the decency to cover up their tracks and do the right thing and put country first. But that's not all I'm going to not forget about. That's right. I'm not going to forget about these 13 service members that died that didn't have to. I'm hearing reports that the Taliban went to Biden and asked them, secure Kabul or we will. And Biden pretty much told them to do whatever you want. All we need is the airport. He wasn't going to ensure that Kabul was safe so we could get our people out. Not only that, There was a picture saying that we're leaving the service dogs behind. Now, the only thing I could come up with that we're not leaving our service dogs behind. Well, where was it? The Pentagon military did not leave dogs in cages. The Defense Department, however, denies any military service dogs or contracted animals were left behind in the country. Photos circulating online were animals under the care of the Cabal Small Animal Rescue, not dogs under the care of the United States military. Despite ongoing complicated and dangerous retrograde missions, U.S. forces went to great lengths to assist the Cabal small animal rescues as much as possible. Panan said he noted that the priority missions was to evacuate U.S. citizens, SIV, and vulnerable Afghans, not animals. The Defense Department further cited custom regulations as the hurdle to evacuate the stray dogs from the country. The department did not deny the consistency of the viral images, but did not contest that the animals have worked with the military in any capacity. The Cabal Small Arm Rescue told us that they have contracted a plane coming, but the flight never showed up or contacted us. All of our working dogs left behind with their handlers would not leave them behind. To suggest otherwise is ridiculous. The U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention prohibits the travel of dogs from countries with high incidence of rabies to the U.S. Afghanistan is among those countries. How convenient. The online torrent came after the military was criticized on social media for photos and videos of purportedly showing U.S. forces giving priority to evacuating service dogs over Afghan people for fleeing the Taliban. U.S. forces withdrew from the country in the early hours Tuesday, meeting President Joe Biden's deadline for the American forces to withdraw from the country. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken estimated there's at least 100 Americans in the countries who wanted to leave who are still there. I don't know what the numbers are. They haven't given us a straight number, and when they did, they kind of estimated so, and they kind of weaseled their way out of it, putting the blame on the people for not registering or unregistering, so they have no clear, which it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, doesn't make sense. And of course, it goes on. The Defense Department says it's evacuated more than 124,000 people from Afghanistan, including about 6,000 Americans, calling it the largest airlift in U.S. history. We wouldn't need the airlift if Joe Biden used the military to secure Kabul or actually used the Russian air base. Like I said, this is bipartisan. This is Fox News. A 3-year-old child among Americans left behind in Afghanistan reported. President Biden previously promised the U.S. will stay in Afghanistan until the Americans are out. I will not forget that he lied to the American people when he said that. I'm not going to actually read the article. I think it kind of gives the impression where I'm going with this. We're giving up on Afghanistan, and the Americans are still there. We have abandoned. This is the Daily Beast. I don't know if the Daily Beast is a left wing, but I think it is. Nemo residuo, a Latin phrase meaning leave no one behind, is such a fundamental of American value that the commitment is embedded into the creed of service branches of the U.S. military. Yet some American citizens are left behind now that the last plane has left Kabul Monday. We believe there's still a small number of Americans under 200. It could be under 200. It could be 500. It could be 1. It could be 50. It could be 1,000. But we chose to leave because Biden's the weak president and chose Afghanistan or the Taliban over American citizens who want to leave. That's right. I'm going to say it. Biden lied. People died. And we're not going to know what's going to happen to these people. We may get them back. The cost may be steep. We may actually have to release the funds that are on hold. We may have to negotiate with the terrorists, breaking another lie that we don't negotiate with terrorists. Of course, CNN politics. Now, this is a video I'm not going to play. American describes the moment she realized she has been left behind in Afghanistan. CNN disgraced Chris Cuomo speaks with an American citizen still trapped in Afghanistan following the U.S. withdrawal. I do say disgrace because he is a disgrace, along with Joe Biden. If you're still defending Joe Biden, you're a disgrace. I know there's people that think he's doing a wonderful job and I don't know where they're getting their information from. But we left Americans behind. We left dogs behind. We left a 3-year-old child behind. And are we going to get them back? Who knows? Maybe through diplomatic means, through releasing funds that are frozen on the World Bank stage, we might get them back. But we don't know. The future is not written. I know we're not going to get all of them back. We're not going to get everyone out. But we could have. And that's on Joe Biden. I will not forget Joe Biden. And if he runs in 2024, he will not get my vote because of Afghanistan. Afghanistan, the way he left in a manner that disgraced America, that decredit America's resolve. Which country is going to trust us now? We left our allies high and dry. Now, I'm not talking about the Middle Eastern country allies, although that is to be something to be said. We left our NATO allies high and dry. You know, the allies that are our friends, no matter what. You had the British Parliament chastise and call Joe Biden in contempt for what he did, for not taking their phone calls with George's, I forget what the Prime Minister's name is. He pretty much ghosted them. They ghosted our Germany allies, our French allies, our Germany, I think I said Germany, and our British allies, and probably a few other European allies. Even Australia, the down under. You know, the country is going full Nazi with the COOF restrictions. I'm not going to speak to that, but just we left them hanging dry. I'm actually getting a lot of my world news from Sky News Australia. They're not afraid to call Joe Biden what he is, which is a weak president. Now, this is going from a world stage point of view. I will not forget Joe Biden. And hopefully one day, through a series of presidents, we could get our credit back. We could get the respect that we deserve back. The respect that when Joe Biden says America back, they will believe it whenever a president says it. We're now in a more dangerous realm because of Joe Biden is weak, chose the Taliban over American people. They chose to hand over Kabul to the Taliban when they asked, either you take control of the city or we will. And Joe Biden just says we need the airport. 13 service members are dead. I don't know how many more are wounded. Hundreds of Afghans are dead. For what? Why? Shouldn't have happened. Biden lied and people died. The truth will always come out. Now, of course, next year is an election year. That means all of the House representatives are up for a re-election. The question is there going to be enough time passed that the Republicans are just going to impeach him? Joe Biden? Is it going to be a fight worth fighting? I don't know. Time will tell. But we're now in a more dangerous world because of Joe Biden. That's all I got to say. Leave a comment down below what your thoughts are. Smash the like and subscribe button. Share my content. Let people know about me. I want to grow my numbers. But most importantly, don't vote Democrat ever again. And when you do vote Republican, make sure you're voting one with integrity. And have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.